You know, looking directly at this 2026 Ultimate Strategic Master Plan for TrueDerm and Della-Soft, it is just, it's wild. We are jumping right into their technical R&D data today, and it completely reframes how boutique cosmetic production actually operates.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, the whole B2B market for high-performance scalp serums is just shooting so fast right now.
Right. And our mission for this deep analysis is to break down those exact operational standards, like the actual formulation science behind engineering these serums, specifically for you listening, so you can see how modern B2B beauty manufacturing actually works.
Exactly, because, well, to understand the business strategy, you really have to grasp the chemistry that is driving the 2026 market.
Oh, absolutely. Because, you probably have this highly researched skincare routine for your face, right? Peptides, chemical exfoliants, all of that. But then what did you wash your scalp with this morning?
Probably whatever generic detergent was sitting nearest in the shower.
Exactly, just some random soap. But the scalp needs just as much targeted nutrition as the face. It is basically skincare for hair.
Yeah, and that skincare for hair concept is huge. These brands aren't just formulating standard shampoos anymore. They are engineering what the industry classifies as a follicle revitalizer.
A follicle revitalizer. I mean, it sounds like a brilliant marketing buzzword, but mechanistically, what is actually going into this to make it work?
Well, it comes down to highly deliberate active chemistry, targeting the scalp microbiome. Take DHT blockers, for example.
Okay, right, DHT. That is the hormone that causes hair thinning, right?
Yeah, precisely. It binds to receptors and literally shrinks the hair follicles over time. So by introducing a chemical blocker right at the scalp level, you basically halt that biological sabotage.
Yeah. And I saw caffeine on the formula list too. Like my morning coffee, but for my head, I'm struggling to see how pouring caffeine on my scalp actually changes hair growth.
It's kind of like a localized wake-up call for your circulatory system. When applied topically, caffeine is a vasodilator.
Or so it opens things up.
Right. It stimulates microcirculation, physically widening the tiny blood vessels around the hair root. That rushes oxygen and nutrients directly to the follicle. And when you combine that with biotin...
Which is like the literal structural building block for the hair's keratin.
Yeah, exactly. You are fundamentally altering the environment where the hair grows. It's incredibly advanced chemistry.
But wait, here is my hang up with all this. Formulating something that advanced usually means working with massive chemical manufacturers. If an indie beauty startup wants to launch this, don't those factories demand massive minimum orders just to turn on the machines?
Historically, yes. Volume was always the ultimate gatekeeper. But the operational limits detailed in this data show a highly accessible minimum order quantity, an MOQ of just 500 units.
Wait, really? Just 500 units?
Yeah, handled entirely through an in-house laboratory process.
Let me push back on that, because how is a 500-unit run even profitable for a manufacturer doing clinical-grade custom formulation? It seems like a logistical nightmare to switch out factory lines for such tiny batches.
It would be if they relied on a traditional, slow-moving supply chain. But they bypassed that entirely by nearshoring. Instead of manufacturing in East Asia and putting products on a cargo ship for 2 months, they utilize an Istanbul Hub.
Oh, so they have a direct route.
Exactly. This creates a hyper-fast logistics bridge directly to the UK and EU markets.
Resulting in an incredibly strict 3 to 4 week turnaround from production to delivery.
Which means a boutique brand can concept a new serum, get it custom formulated, and have it in consumers' hands in a month. Plus, the lab provides a full batch analysis report for every single run.
So it's totally transparent science.
Right. They prove the efficacy on paper before it even ships.
That level of access to OEM and ODM manufacturing is wild. But a manufacturer cannot just offer up their crown jewels to anyone with a tiny order. There have to be boundaries on what these startups can actually request.
Oh, for sure. And this brings us to their exclusivity rule. The lab will custom build incredibly complex formulas for a client, but their own proprietary flagship products.
Like the really popular ones.
Yeah, specifically their rosemary water and rose water. Those are strictly walled off. You cannot use them for private label manufacturing.
Got it. So you can't just slap a trendy, minimalist label on their proprietary rose water and call it your own brand. That makes total sense. They have to protect their core intellectual property.
Exactly.
And that strictness carries over to their technical transparency, too. The communication guidelines here are bluntly honest. The formulas are clean, vegan, cruelty-free, and high performance. But they make a massive point of stating the non-organic fact.
Yeah, They state very clearly that these are definitively not organic.
Which is such a refreshing rejection of industry greenwashing, honestly.
It is a strategic move to build B2B trust. By stating up front that they prioritize lab-tested clinical efficacy over organic certifications, they align themselves purely with science and results.
It's a total rejection of the fluff we usually see in the beauty industry. And when you combine that clinical R&D with a hyper-agile Istanbul supply chain and tiny 500-unit MOQs, it completely removes the old industry gatekeepers.
Startups now have the exact same technical capabilities as legacy brands, just with a much faster turnaround.
Which leaves you wondering, if a tiny boutique brand can now formulate, test, and ship a scientifically advanced scalp serum in just 4 weeks, how are traditional legacy hair care giants going to keep up with that pace of specialized small batch innovation?